Autophiles, new format. We are trying to improve our quality a bit.
Yeah.
So we're changing our format a bit. So please bear with us if you're not used to this.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the segments are still the same. We're going to talk about the vehicle generally,
Performance,
then performance, then looks,
design,
then
value.
Then value. We're in a Mercedes-Benz GLE
450.
450. Wow.
Well, okay, let's give people some context.
Okay.
This car basically goes up against the XC90, which we've driven before, and the X5.
Yes, definitely.
It's a little bit smaller than the XC90 because it doesn't have the third row of seats.
Yes.
Unlike those two cars, it's CBU from Germany. The X5 was CBU for a while, but this year they got the CKD package in. Direct competitor, it is neither those two cars.
How come?
Because those two cars are plug-in hybrids.
Okay.
This car is a mild hybrid.
Okay, but in terms of class, let's say in terms of class, we're talking about 3 Series versus C class, E class versus 5 Series. This is a direct competitor to the X5.
Yes.
It's just that is a little bit more electric. This is slightly less electric.
Slightly less electric. They both got 3-litre 6-cylinder engines.
Okay, turbocharged.
Right. And this one, the hybrid element is very mild. Basically, it cannot drive on full electric.
Okay. So
that if it's moving, most of the time the engine is on.
Well, I purposely drive a Mercedes-Benz CLS on the way here to test drive this car. Because, you know, for people who are familiar with Mercedes, and I've driven quite a few Mercedes in the past, I noticed that there is a line to be drawn in Mercedes car range.
Lately?
Well, at least in the past 10-15 years at least. You know, you have the smaller Mercedes, which is very lifestyle-centered. But in terms of substantive quality or value, to be honest, no offense, it's about to say something bad. It's not that great lah. Because they tend to be bumpy. They want to be young and handles well, but they don't outperform the BMs, not even the Audis, right? So they failed in that regard. But in tuning their car to be sporty, they lose the quality that makes Mercedes great, which is the magic carpet ride. Now, not all Mercedes have that. The S classes, definitely. You see that in the S, you see that in even the E200 that we test drove a couple of years ago. Even that has that quality, you know, that magic carpet ride. That's what makes Mercedes special.
Even without an air suspension setup,
correct,
it's still good.
Correct. And that's what I get in the CLS. It doesn't have the air suspension, but to be honest, unless you're really pushing it, I can fly bumps in a Mercedes and I won't feel a thing. I won't feel like the car is even trying. It's not just dampening it, it's also at the same time whether the chassis can withstand that level of torture. That's why I purposely drove the CLS here, is to benchmark this GLE. They are not that far, because you know why? Both of them are based on the E-Class. Both of them are E-Class Plus. That means E-Class aspirational to S, but not an S.
Not quite there.
Yeah, not quite there. I will let you know whether I'm disappointed after this. I don't wanna spoil it so early on. So, performance. You want to talk about the figures?
So here you get 367 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque.
That's a lot, man.
And then you also got that small electric motor.
Okay.
Which is like giving you just a little squirt of extra power.
Okay.
It's not much.
Like 40-50 horses.
Like less than it. 22 horsepower.
22 horsepower.
But 250 Newton meters of torque.
Okay.
So enough to get you off the line.
Okay.
But it's more to save petrol.
Save petrol.
Than to really. With these systems, it's like everything's integrated. You might as well, if you're going to gamble on it, just get the plug-in hybrid, you know?
Oh well, I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to complain, but you know, I'm thinking from a logical point of view, eventually it becomes an issue, and this kind of car will become very difficult to maintain. Anyway, performance 0 to 100, I presume, what, 5 seconds? 5
plus seconds.
5 plus. It feels like 5 plus, but
it's slower than the XC90, if I'm not mistaken.
Because the XC90 is a little bit like a hammer when it gives you a power.
This is progressive.
A little bit more, but it still have that Mercedes tuning, which is usually very lazy. But when you ask for it, oh, you really want it? You really want it? And it will pause for like 2 seconds, then it will flow you with power.
And it's quite scary.
It can get quite scary. But nonetheless, it's a very powerful car. I mean, nowadays, seriously, this kind of car, back then was sports car level. But these days, they're everywhere.
You get it in a 2.2 ton family SUV.
I know. Is it powerful? It is very powerful. Will it fulfill all your needs on a highway and in the interstate road? You can't ask for more. But you know, it is in this age that, you know, power is so available that we need to talk about restraint. How you tune your vehicle. A master chef uses the same ingredient as an amateur, but you know, the product is different, and that's where Mercedes, this product left me a little bit wanting.
I think he heard you say Mercedes.
I know. He wants me to stop talking bad about it. But I'm gonna talk bad about this Mercedes right now. A big Mercedes is supposed to glide through all the obstacles in life, like as if it does not affect you.
Yeah.
And that is
It's missing here.
that is missing here.
Yeah. Like every bump we went through just now, small bumps.
Yeah.
We feel it. I feel it through the seat.
I couldn't fly bumps. I drove here in a CLS in bumps I could fly that I could not do in a $500,000 ringgit car.
Right. And you know, it's amazing because you remember the Corolla?
Yeah. We were flying bumps
faster than this car.
We were flying bumps, wasn't it? But here you have probably a 2-ton
2.2.
there you go. 2.2 ton vehicle that judders a little bit when I go through a minor pothole. That is probably an inch deep. That is not supposed to happen. In an A-class GLA, even the GLC, fine, I'll close an eye. And the GLC is notorious. The C,
it's bad, yeah.
The C platform is, this generation, notorious. Cannot absorb any vibrations.
Yeah.
But you're from an E, you know. I mean, I expect a little bit better than this. I just drove 450 kilometers home from Kelantan. There are so many gravel roads that I took my Alphard onto because buy durian, check out this durian store and that. So this car completely discouraged me from doing.
I'm trying to think if there's any good points.
Oh, it's very powerful.
It's very powerful, yeah. And I feel it's less clumsy than the XC90 at speed.
Right.
When you really go fast, this thing, the tuning of the steering, the way the engine delivers, then it sort of makes sense. Right?
It's more matured than, it's more professional and more matured and more experienced tuning than XC90. It's noticeable.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a German thing that you see this trend towards this kind of suspension nowadays because their road conditions are a lot better. But to be honest, Malaysia road condition is not the worst in the world.
It's not the worst.
In some parts of America has worse roads than we do.
Yeah.
You know, so you are selling worldwide. You have to think about these things.
Yeah.
I find it jarring, practically jarring, the level of comfort that you are talking about. You know, I feel everything on the road, and we're in Desa Park City. Not the best road, yes, but it's not the worst either.
And you've got air suspension, like what's your excuse?
I know, right?
Yeah.
You know, what's your excuse? Oh, the air is compressed, so it's sporty. What the
They will say Malaysian air is too hot. And we're in comfort mode.
Yeah.
There's nothing, we are not doing anything wrong here.
Yeah.
Maybe okay, the last thing I can say that maybe is our fault. Maybe the air pressure is completely empty. But some warning should come out. So performance, it's like a 3.
Yes, I have to give it a 3.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because
at high speed, it tends to do quite well. Better than the XC90, I think. Less clumsy.
Yes.
It doesn't feel that heavy when you go very
and more
fast.
progressive in its tuning.
Yeah. But at low speed, it's just very difficult to drive.
I know.
We have all these sensor problems coming on. Parking sensor going crazy.
I know. And it's not just this Mercedes problem, to be honest.
Yeah,
that problem is in every Mercedes and BMW now.
Yeah.
You know, they're so intrusive, especially a Mercedes, man.
Yeah.
You can't even say Mercedes anymore.
They see how may I help you?
There you go. Yeah?
Yeah, I just want to be left alone. I want the car to just shut up and just do its
there
job.
you go. Shut up.
Shut up.
You hear that? Shut up. But you can't.
Yeah.
It has to intrude into your existence. It has to tell you, I'm here because you pay 600,000 ringgit, and I want to remind you every time.
Yeah. That you have this toy to show off to your friends.
Yeah.
You know? Should we go out and look at the car?
Oh yeah, we should. Yeah.
Honestly, when I first saw the pictures of this, I thought it looked a little bit less off-roady.
Yeah.
Because the old GLE, which was the ML before it, or the M class, that was like an off-road product, you know. It's supposed to be like going up against a Range Rover or something like that. But this time they've taken the soft-roader approach, try to fight the X5 a little bit more, the XC90. So for me, it became a little bit too, what you call, plastic.
See whether it moves? Yeah, it does.
Yes.
I personally think that this chunky headlight, like one piece, like a nugget. It looks like it looks like a nugget.
A luxury nugget. 10,000, okay.
Is the latest model kind of losing this nugget look?
In the current S-Class, the current C-Class, when you look at this headlamp thing, it's a kind of like a curved shape, you know. It's got this character to it, you know. Like it's, you know, it's a squarish oval thing, but that blend of curves makes it like a very odd shape, you know. You can't really put. But this one, you know, it's sort of hexagonal. You can see the lines clearly defined.
So they're going back to a little bit harder lines,
Yes.
Which is very interesting because actually you look at the car, it looks much smaller than it actually is.
Exactly.
You know, you don't realize how big the car is until you get up close. And when I get up close, I'm like, whoa, the wheel does not end.
Yeah.
it's like half my height. This is actually a very sizable car.
Yeah.
Very, very sizable. Especially you look at this bulge, man, at the back. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So in this all new generation GLE, they started curving the sides here, just like in the GLC.
It's very luxurious, but I do like this contrast here. Nobody can see this line. This line juxtaposes with this. You know, it's like wow. You know, it's telling you a story. It's almost butterfly-like.
Yeah. And this line might be the only carryover from the old ML.
Okay.
I remember this sort of
right. Oh yeah,
kink in the old ML.
Yeah, it was there. I quite like it, to be honest, this design language. And I like how they tidied up the rear. Prior to this, the GLE was a little bit
ugly.
Lack of a better word, ugly. But now it's more GLC-like, but not as ubiquitous as the GLC. The GLC is a bit lacking in character.
I think because no one has bought this car yet.
To be honest, the rear profile, if you look at it, it's very GLC-like.
Yeah.
It's just more angular, more purposeful. And I quite like the shape, to be honest. It has a very fat bottom, you know.
I think the glass house is narrower than the body itself.
Yeah.
So you get the turtle look.
Yeah. You come back here. Look, it's Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah.
Looks. How would you rate it?
Looks, I would say maybe a 3.5. I think it looks okay. I don't see anything bad about it. This plastic elements and all that, it kind of goes away from its roots.
I have to give it a little bit better. I really like the car, especially from the rear. The front is not to my taste. The front is I don't like the nugget look.
It looks like a very fat A-class.
Yeah, it does. I have to give it a 4 out of 5. It is a very good looking car. It has a presence that in fact X5 doesn't look so classy.
Oh, around the back, what is this? More Porsche touches.
What?
It's the handle.
Yeah, this is a Volkswagen touch.
Volkswagen.
Started with Volkswagen. Touareg is the first one, I think.
And then now the X70
now
perfected
everyone
it.
has it.
You get the dual displays from the S-Class, E-Class.
Right.
But one thing that they kind of did different here was the air vents.
Yeah.
So Mercedes-Benz moved towards the circular air vents.
Right. It was very nice.
It was nice. It was
in
like
the 222 S-Class.
Yeah, it was like going back to the 30s, 40s kind of feel, right?
But they kind of went away from it. And they go back to this rectangular.
Shut the heck up! Like this thing is just.
It doesn't have that imposing feel that you get when you come into an S-Class. You get all these lights, all these atmospheric lights and whatnot. Yeah. But the reality is, it feels a little bit amateurish because you have this circle here, and it doesn't connect to anything else. Like why? You know, are you telling me the hole here?
When you go not off-road.
Right. And then this line here, this line. You see this? This line that goes in front, but it ends halfway through your door.
Yeah, and it doesn't connect. This line ends up here, and then this line kind of ends.
It looks like an LED strip they stick on. I know we're complaining about $500,000 car, but the reality is, it doesn't wow. It lacks. Wow. Nice.
The leaf just
nice.
God is sending you. You better give this car a good review.
It doesn't have the wow factor that even an S-Class from 7-8 years ago had. And that's a little bit disappointing because, I mean, you've done it.
Yeah, I think they've played all their party tricks.
Yeah.
And then now they're like, oh, what if we make that? We put it square again. See what happens. And then they put this big air vent here. Why? Because Audi does a big vent like that for no reason.
I mean, this is nice, but it doesn't feel the same way that I feel when I get into a 222S. I feel that they completely do not have a focus as to what to do with the interior. In fact, there is one objective I think they did: make it feels cheaper than the S-Class.
Yeah.
I think
nerf it.
They nerf the interior so that you don't challenge the flagship, and that makes me feel shortchanged, especially if I'm paying $500,000.
Imagine you paid $500,000 and then within 1 year.
Oh yeah. This looks like a 15-year-old BMW. Yeah, it will chap like that. It will. But this car is what? 6,500 kilo and it chaps like this. If I paid $500,000 I will drive this car through the mirror, the glass of the showroom, and then tell them, can you explain to me what the is this?
Well, on to maybe usability, because that's what I found very troublesome.
Right.
I think Mercedes used to use like a click wheel.
Yeah.
You know, I think that
Right.
And this is so much. This is so much worse. And you see that stupid high Mercedes thing that keeps coming on. Every time you say the word Mercedes, it comes on.
Are you recording that?
Yeah.
Do you see the lag?
Yes.
It's like 25 frames per second. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The wheel is so much better.
I wanted to cycle through the radio stations, and you have to basically put your finger down, lift it, I mean down there, basically scrolling through this little thing here.
Yeah.
And it's just not as fast. It's not as good an interface as having a click wheel.
Not only that, there is a genuine lag. You see that?
Yeah, there's a bit.
You
of
see that?
animation, like, you have to go into your menu here, and then you can see exactly what's to do.
But front is dual zone, right?
Yes, front.
But the buttons here doesn't correspond with dual zone.
But then you got temperature on the left and temperature on the right.
There's only one blower speed.
Yeah.
For the front, you can't change it. So that's why it explains.
Yeah.
That's why it's here. Okay. But it's dual zone in terms of temperature. And then you have another row which is at the rear. Okay. Quad zone lah.
Quad zone.
So I mean, at least you give me a physical button. I'm happy with that. Volvo doesn't have that. That's a real problem.
That's even worse actually.
Yeah. Overall exterior, I'll give it a 4. I'll give the interior a 3 out of 5.
Right.
So overall, it's a 3.5 for me.
For me, I think interior is 3.5, exterior is 3.5. Good is what you expect in this class.
Yeah.
But I mean, the XC90 facelifted with almost no changes to the exterior still looks grander.
Better.
This,
still looks better.
Yeah.
And feels more special. Let's talk about value, isn't it?
So it's time to play
Guess the price!
Let me re-butter your expectation. BMW X5 CKD.
Okay.
Also 3 litre in front.
Okay.
440k.
That's reasonable lah. This one is a 3 litre. So I expect 4 plus. Then when you told me it's CBU...
Add another couple of X70s to the price.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I expected 550. No. Who's gonna buy it, bro?
Nobody.
Everyone will buy the X5 lah.
Probably the only Malaysians who drive this car.
Yeah, I feel special for a night. Yo, X5. Everyone will buy the X5.
Yeah.
How much is it?
440.
440. With the 3 litre in the front.
Yeah, XC90 2 litre. As much power because of the better tuned engine.
Okay.
400k.
There you go. That's value.
That's value.
But if you're not comfortable with Volvo, which some of us are still not, especially if you're anti-China, the BMW is a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I haven't driven it, but
at least in a BMW, if it's bumpy, you can mentally justify it.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Sport leak.
Sport leak.
But
your engine also sport leaks.
Everywhere. So value. How much is this car again? Don't tell me it's 600,000.
It's 633.
Oh my goodness. I don't know, like, you gotta really like Mercedes to buy this. You know, you gotta really like Mercedes plus hate BMW.
It's a shame because this should have been the generation where Mercedes-Benz take it seriously. They must have realized in the previous generation that Volvo is making headway in Malaysia because they have XC90. Why CKD or AMG 43 C-Class when you can CKD this and fight with BMW?
Correct.
Right.
Correct. More mass market appealing. Value is 1.5 out of 5.
I would be generous lah, 1.6.
It's just not it does not make sense to buy lah. Let's put it this way.
Like if they had done something with the interior design to make it compete with a Porsche, with a Cayenne,
it's not there.
It's not even.
It's not there yet. It's not there yet. Get a GLE 300 at 390,000.
Yeah,
I probably would recommend it much better.
Yeah, with a 2 litre high output engine.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah,
like a Volvo
280 horses,
like an XC90 T5.
Yeah,
you know,
that
kind of power.
Yeah.
So Autophiles, great start to post MCO season.
Yes, post MCO season. I hope you like our new format. Our new format is a lot less shaky because we're not driving around while talking.
Yeah, and we get to show you what we're talking about in design. And also, we will also be putting out our old format videos because we still have a lot big backlog. But for our new cars, the cars we just tested out, if you see this new format, it's because we just took it post MCO. Do give us your feedback. Do you like it this way, and how can we improve it? But we do want to keep our style, which is a little bit more authentic. That's how we do things here. Authentic but structured. Structured but authentic, yes. So yeah, Autophiles signing out of GLE 450. Wonder how we say that in German.
What do you want me to say about performance? Seriously, is it fast? It's fast.
It's fast.
Is it power?
Is it annoying?
Yes. Is it powerful? Yes, very. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm looking at these ambient lights changing from pink to orange.
And the worst part is it's not even synchronized between this part and that part.
This is...
Did you notice
my
that?
God,
it's still orange here and that side is already purple.
Maybe they got a dual zone lighting also.
That's not a feature, bro.
Then here is green. See underneath.
Oh yeah, it's green
What
there.
is going on? And then your legs there got red color.
Oh yeah.
What is it's so tacky.
I'm completely uninfatuated with German cars anymore. You know? It's right now when I see a German cars, I see a pile of tech on wheels with potential headache in the future.
You see a warranty countdown.
Yeah.
That's all you see. It's got a whole 48 volt system with the starter generator system, ISG they call it.
Okay.
So it's integrated. It's like a core part of the whole way the engine moves.
If only they can shut it off. I'm fine with just the petrol engine.
Eventually, after 6 years, it's going off.
I know,
okay,
right?
fine. Big switch underneath.